the 5-minute test, basically. Basically, if you're a head of department, you can call people up and say, hey, snap to do this. And then you turn around and you say, here's the guy's name, boom, I want you to check the records for how many petitions this guy has, turned in and stuff like that. How many times does his name appear? You don't have to do them all, just, get some sampling on that and get back to me. This is something they can do on computers, basically, and in 5 minutes, she can have an email that returns, boom, oh, there it is. It's a definitive yes, And then she can call Julie Sue. This is again, the 5-minute test that Shirley Weber could have done. So she gets the request for, action needed this day. She gets the previous request for assistance. Again, staff repeatedly. We're talking different times. There have been situations over the years where request for perfectly logical assistance, and they're like, we don't know what to do. And I'm like, okay, well, where's the spot? Where do we deal with the candidate, the attack on the candidate stuff? And they're like, oh, well, we don't have a section for candidates. We have a section for voter intimidation. And all that is there is that we would punish the people intimidating the voters. And I says, well, what about attacks on candidates? What about blacklisting of candidates? But so anyhow, so ample and lots of material. Thousands and thousands of pages turned over to the AG's office. A lot of other documents sent in, different ways, different sources, and they're just going to sit there and not do the 5-minute test. Why can't we call on the phone and say, look, will you check this out? We're talking basic notation. Here's my name. Wow, my name. Does that get us there? Yeah, does that get us there? Oh, you need a reference number. Yeah, what do you need? Yeah, what do you need? Oh, you need the card ID number. Oh, well, that's an exact ID for the whole shebang, right? Right? Of course it is. Oh, you need a Social Security number on top. Oh, well, I don't know why, but yeah, Social Security is a official federal ID. That works fine. So, either way, the whole thing is they just bow their neck and say they're not going to do it. So, the bottom line is that the AG office doesn't want to investigate and prosecute anybody that's a government employee. So you have Julie Sue massively blacklisting people. She gets discovered in $31 billion in fraud. This is mind-boggling numbers. And you still have these people at the, you have Shirley Weber dancing a jig at the Secretary of State's office, which is supposed to have the ultimate authority in protecting elections. Let me say that for those of you that are real sold, the ultimate authority for protecting the process of elections. And they just won't do it. They just flat won't do it. They won't verify and say, oh, yeah, the state owes you a lot of money. Right, yeah, we can make a call and fix that. We can send an email saying, no, you have to pay this guy. He's a candidate. He's an archive for all this other stuff. But yeah, he's a candidate. You can't blacklist a candidate. And then call and then say, okay, yeah, we're going to have to credit this guy because we verified 100%. He's owed money. He has credit. Why? The state has this guy's money. Everything shut. This is lunacy. Everything's ordered shut down. Everything's staying in place. And he's ordered all this money. Congress has already paid. They've already turned my name in on the list for initial filings, reported it in for total number of people claim, which they used to get money forwarded from Congress. So they're already sitting there on a pile of the money from my name. The whole time they've already verified it. These are in the statistics. They're already got the money from Congress. It's there. So, you got to think about these things, how they go down. So this is, basically what they do because they don't want to take 5 minutes of their time. 5 minutes, basically. They're going to bow their neck, interfere with the process of elections, and continue forward with the same exact process of, we have an excuse for every which way you come at us, no matter what. And my whole thing is, let me go over just a touch more than 5 minutes with you to explain it. I'm also an archiver. You've attacked archives. You've caused a snowball effect, a domino effect of additional damage. You know why? How long do you think somebody can maintain a fleet when you have a convoy and you have no money for fuel, no money to move it? How long can you pay to keep it intact? How long can you pay to keep it in storage when they have 100% blacklisting and having your income shut off? All businesses shut down. I mean, we're talking, I couldn't go to certain other businesses, they're shut down. Auction houses shut down. I can't go to an auction house to do business. I can't liquidate assets. They're shut down. You know, these people are lunatics. So yeah, the artifacts get damaged. That's the museum factor. Yeah, I have a licensed nonprofit. And so the whole thing is now they're on the line for what the Constitution calls attack upon an archive. These are more than just normal archive law violations. These are death penalty violations, mandatory death penalty area. So if we go into this, the bottom line on all this is these people are diabolically opposed to the Constitution of the United States. They won't deal with simple numbers. You know, again, 18 total mobile RV broadcast units that are also archives, Wi-Fi serving, and all of this other state-of-the-art development of the best programs in history for citizens. So citizens can stand up and say, hey, this guy is moving forward with issues development for issues for us to stop loan discrimination, to get us guaranteed funding for new construction loans, to let us use our own hands to build houses, kind of like 12 to 14-year-old people did back in the year 1750. Basic carpentry skills. We're talking less than a seventh grader. And, you know, this is our modern society that we have burned people, we have robbed people. And I'm the guy that's put his foot down and says, no, we're going to restore all of that. And I've got all this super AI stuff, but I have to keep getting distracted by violence. I mean, this is gun in face problem. These are people sticking gun in face, saying, you're going to have to do this, or else. This is all insane. This is crazy. So they're creating mass entrapment. They've already lost cases all over the state because it's mass entrapment. You can't shut people's business down and then say they didn't pay their taxes. That's what they're doing to people. They're shutting their business down and then they're seizing their assets, saying, oh, you didn't pay your taxes. Tens of thousands of times across this, it's totally out of control. We have to start rounding these people up and putting them in prison. We have to end this. It's the only way to do this. We have to end this. You know, we have to start grabbing these people up and end it. You know, we have to get control again, so that we don't have all these people dying from extra spread pattern because they can't get a hold of quality cold and flu relief medication. This is no joke. 75 years on the shelf, you know, and they're going to pull it off the shelf with some grandstanding event that they've invented as though they're doing something good. Look, we're addressing this horrible drug problem. They just killed over 9,000 people the first year of COVID. And it kept going on. Well over 10,000 people dead. Plus they got other suits to follow policy. These people are dead. The gross incompetence, it's mind-boggling. These people, they're killing people. We're talking vast numbers. Pull effective cold remedy medication off the shelf that's been proven for 75 years. First year, boom, COVID hits, bang. How over 9,000 deaths? Gee, how many deaths from mass shooters of school children are there? Just do the math on that. Just do the math on that and ask how many decades. How many decades? Mass statistical numbers. These people have to be put in a box. These people need to be put in prison immediately to restore health and safety. You know, the numbers just don't quit. AI is definitive. It says, if you do this, it'll change this. And what these people did, they're 100% responsible. We're talking types of math that are never going to change. Never going to change. Thousands and thousands of crimes that these people are connected to. And the absolute truth here. And these, and it's just mind-boggling. Just 12 RVs running around in LA, boom, million people a day. But they're going to blacklist people from the the ballot. They're going to do all this creative, extensive stuff to shut your income down and then rob you. Use your name, turn it into the federal government, collect money that Congress allocated for the situation. These people are serious criminals. This is a RICO. This is what you call a RICO. These are multi-people, multi-departments doing things that are criminal and covering for each other's butts. It's a multi-RICO. And then they're destroying vast carnage. They are interfering with the process of elections. We're talking death penalty charges in many of these cases. Death penalty. And they just keep bowing their neck and doing it and doing it and doing it. It's one of the most ridiculous things you can imagine. So there you go in a nutshell that way. I've got a lot of other shows that talk about other things. And man, I really want to talk about other stuff. I want to get the 24-hour services back going again, so to speak, having them intact on the archive vehicles. And this is something that, the 24-hour deal is supposed to be hooked to the vehicles. I haven't been able to actually get that going because every time I get close to getting things going, it's something else. It's something else. Absolutely insane. Absolute insanity. And this has been verified. The type of crimes all these different people are involved in have been investigated by other states who've come to the conclusion I'm absolutely right. These people are blatantly lying. You've caught them lying more than 4 times. And there's all these other departments that when you catch them red-handed, they're like, that doesn't match. Right, you're right. Look, we want to prosecute these people. Oh, no, we can't do that. Enough of this. Enough of this criminal intent. We have to start arresting these people. We have to have these people immediately arrested. We can't trust the Secretary of State. We can't even trust the entire Secretary of State's office at this point. If you're listening to my material, you would understand it's all breached. They're not trustworthy. They all have to be removed, effective immediately, because we have to restore the process of elections. We have to go after these people who have participated in attacks against candidates, and put them in jail. And by the way, they're not allowed to run for office. That means we have to remove all these people off the ballot from being able to run for office. And that includes Kamala Harris for her repeated dereliction of duty, refusing to basically prosecute police officers that were harassing my campaigns in the past. This is a long-term evolutionary sequence. And again, these people are busted dead. They're busted dead to rights. 9 ways from Tuesday, they're busted. And they just keep doing it and doing it and doing it. We just can't tolerate that kind of lying and this kind of criminal behavior and have these people associated anywhere near public trust areas. No matter what, and they just keep coming, and they haven't got a leg to stand on, and they just keep lying. And if you ask them the simplest questions, well, how did this test work out? Well, how did this verification work out? Oh, well, what about this, a communication to check on this or that? They just come up with excuse after excuse and lie after lie. We have to haul these people out of the building and arrest them immediately. There's just no way to get this done. We have to get these people out of here. And because the thing is, they're supposed to be the people that are supposed to help police this. They're supposed to take care of this. So you have to go to outside sources. You can't go to them to do the right thing because they are the criminals. Now what do we do? Obviously these people can't make it past Congress. There's no way they're going to make it past Congress. The delegates, if they run an election through, I've been turning information over. I've been locking information in, ka-chung, 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 into the United States Archive. And again, the simplest tests, they just flatly refuse to do the simplest verification. Why? Because as soon as they do it, I say, yeah, now I want to prosecute these various people because they committed this crime, this crime. Oh, no, we don't want to do that. You know, it's enough. Enough of these people. These people have to go to prison. There's no way around this. And what they're doing, the shame that they're putting on the Democratic Party for what they have done. When we get to the points of the archive violations, the serious ones, and the judge starts shaking his head and comes up with, look, you don't understand, these are mandatory in this area. I have no way around this. We have to do another set of hearings to determine your penalty, and it says mandatory death penalty, and there should be no remorse. I mean, excuse me, not remorse. I mean, again, you know, these people, they show no remorse for what they do. So vindictive, no remorse, you know. These people are horrible, you know. So the public, nobody should whine, nobody should cry, nobody should feel sorry for these people. When it gets to the point where they say, yeah, we just read off all these crimes you're guilty for, and you've committed all these crimes against humanity, and all together y'all conspired to do this, that, and the other thing, and we have tens of billions of dollars in damage done again and again and again, and you're just a threat to humanity. You know, so it's death penalty. We have to get rid of you. You know, you're just too much. I mean, because we don't even know. You know, how much deeper do you want to go? I can go deeper, but how much deeper do you want to go? Really? How much health and safety violations? You know, do you want to include people's animals? Do you want to include the carnage from the financial stress they caused involving people's animals? You know, this is going to really make a great documentary. It really is, to show what these people did. You know, because you know, for me, point blank, upfront view of who these people are, they're evil. They're evil. You know, standard logic. There is no way around standard logic, but they're going to invent an excuse and stand on it and try to come up with some kind of policy that's meaningless, that's not constitutional. Something. That's all they do, is endlessly invent things instead of doing the job. Because once you get them to verify each and every time, and you get to that point, when you finally get them to verify everything, then they don't want to prosecute the parties who committed crimes. It's just horrible. Absolutely horrible. So there you go, 18 minutes, and everybody's been reminded yet again another day. And the message goes out. We have to demand the immediate arrest of these people to restore the process of elections in this nation and in California. Now, keep in mind that the delegates can't be counted and can't be certified because these people can't stand up to questioning. They can't pass Congress. So again, the horrible shame that, you know, they're putting on the Democratic Party. And for other members of the Democratic Party, as they find this information out, their duty to get very upset and call in and say, hey, what are you guys doing? What is this? What do you guys think you're doing? Because they can't go any place. It's over with. It's been over with, but they're trying to pull it off. And that's what added the extra to it. That's when the judge and the jury is going to go at the end of their case and their trials and say, man, you know, you were told and you were told and you were told. And you knew that it was going to cause extra damage, the extra damage would have could, but you just kept doing it and doing it and doing it. And at the end, it's going to be, well, you're responsible for this long list of stuff. And it's mandatory death penalty. Welcome to the Constitution of the United States. And nobody should whine or get upset because these people had a choice. They had choices repeatedly. And they just kept making the wrong one and the wrong one in the name of their own memeism. And meanwhile, the voters lose all the real advanced AI designed plans, AI verified plans, all the original brilliance that I have, So, you know, poverty gets to stay there because these people are not real. They're not real. I'm going to restore you to a 45-year, 480 home building structure again and guarantee you won't be discriminated against. These other people are just playing another tit-for-tat game. Let's just make it, we're just going to try to pull another squeaker out. You should be tired of it. You people in public should be tired of this by now and say, hey man, we're tired of this. We really are. We are tired of this. So looking forward to more communications from people. I thank you very much. Michael Crosby for POTUS 2024. Oh, I need to update one of the things that I wanted to cover, because I've had a lot of different messages, private messages, messages through the original alternate routes, because I've had material out there for a number of years. You'll find material that dates way back prior to like 2012 where I have videos posted. So there's all these different setups repeatedly that have occurred. And I have all these other lines because I've had times where I brought websites up online and different people got a hold of communications. So the messages, I'd love to share all of them, but I can't. But I think I can share a common average to what a lot of these messages are saying. And, basically if I kind of collage it together, it's almost like voices in harmony that would essentially be saying the same information. And like right now, the current information is, this is unbelievable. I've looked at the material. These photographs are incredible. These are not AI. These are damage. You have people that are very violently after you, very violent intent, destroying equipment, computers, violating documents, violating legal information, attacking vehicles, breaking out the windows, stealing things. It's very obvious. It's very obvious. And they said these people are saying, look, I verified some of the other people that got copies of this, and they're like, this has been like over a year, and they're like, what's going on with the media? How is it possible that the media wouldn't investigate some of this? I mean, how is it possible that the media in any way in good conscience can be doing what they're doing when the evidence that you have shared has just been so blatantly a lot, and it's like, some of them it's like, you have over 13,000 posts, over 13,000 posts. This stuff is going out to Congress people, senators, people in the media, and this evidence, this is undeniable. How can the media move forward in good conscience? It's OMG, OMG, OMG. People, they find this so mind-boggling. They do. They're like, wow, this is unreal. And it's like a lot of them say, I'm so afraid. I'm afraid for my friends and my family. The media must be evil. How could they do this? How could the media ignore this blatant truth so long? How could they ignore an entire fleet of vehicles, campaign vehicles getting destroyed, getting lost? They're just like, we're afraid. We are really, really afraid. And you talk really nice. Well, I'm going to say you talk really nice and too nice to some of these people. Let's say you talk too nice to some of these people. And people are like, wow, this is just unbelievable, And it's like, you have people that are like, I got different message lines. They said, please, you got this other message, like, don't let these people know my identity. I'm scared for my life. I'm scared for my family and friends' lives. This is a horrible RICO situation, and how can the media continue this any longer? How can they do this? How can they do this? How can they allow blatant election rigging to continue with all this blatant evidence? It's just night and day. So basically, that's pretty much a good substantiation as to the actual messages that are coming through in some of these areas, and I mean, there's a lot of things yet to talk about. I haven't talked about the Los Angeles Civil Rights Archive yet, which was one of the original things that I started doing the main archive with many, many years ago. This is many decades back, pre-1990, basically. And, the sad thing is I don't have much of a choice but to tell, like lots of people, like 170 some people, I forget what the number is, that basically, some of the evidence involving your situation, I don't know what to tell you. It looks at this moment that it's lost, been destroyed. I don't know what to tell you. But I do mention it, and I don't want to be held responsible if some of these people get upset and they start burning building down or whatever like that. It's not my fault. It's not my problem. It's not like I haven't turned in these various criminals and turned blatant evidence over for people to be prosecuted. So I don't want to be held responsible for that. I'm not getting up like some people might get up and say, "Look, man, let me just stick the barbs in here and and just drive out a bunch of people to do a bunch of decentralized madness." Clearly that's not what I've been doing. I've been doing nothing but putting out incredible amounts of evidence. And again, there's some of the people again on the messages. They're like, "Hey, death penalty? Yeah, they read. I've read. They go, yeah, I looked some of this up on the Constitution. It's hard to find stuff anymore on the web, but they looked up stuff and says, yeah, you can't do that. You can't burn down museums. You can't destroy museums. That's mandatory death penalty area if you destroy a museum." And the media, how could the media not really grasp the situation on this? This is just horrible. Just horrible. How can you have a prosecutor? How can you have, this is a favorite one, how can you have a prosecutor supposedly prosecuting people and you put all this evidence in front of them and they're not prosecuting? Hello? Yeah, a lot of people got that one. They're like, wait a minute, you have prosecutors that are not prosecuting. What they're doing is something else. So that means that they're standing up in front of the podium and they're lying? This is an amazing thing, and a lot of people, I love your idea about the fMRI lie detector. That's so wonderful. That's what we need to do to all these there's some other people that say some other things. I'm not going to get into some of that. But that was an important item that I needed to add so that people can understand that there is movement that you don't see. And there are a lot of people who are afraid. It's probably at least 1 in 10. So, so if you see, 400 people that say, yeah, we'll follow you, there's 4,000 people that in many ways follow me or look at my stuff from time to time or have somebody else send a copy to them. A lot of people have the float copy. They have somebody else tell them about it. Somebody else send them a link to it because they're actually afraid. They're actually afraid of having their device come through and see truth. They're afraid that someone in the government is going to blacklist them and punish them or some mysterious force, whatever. So I want to thank you again for your time. Michael Crosby, running for POTUS 2024.